I can get no tarot action. Cards be flipping, no attraction. And I try, oh I try, how I try, how I try. I just spilled my tarot cards on the floor and felt very dramatic. Hey crew, welcome back to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local light worker. I'm a tarot reader and an astrologer, and I'm very happy to have you here with me today for another Pick a Card reading. This is going to be a Pick a Card reading on the topic of setting boundaries. Some of you requested this reading a while ago from me, but I only now had the energy and the inspiration to create it. So I think it might be a fated moment for you guys to figure out how do you need to set better boundaries in your life. Now, traditionally or usually, it is very easy to set a boundary by simply saying no. But as you guys know, it's easier said than done. No is a very good word to use to draw a line between you and another person energetically. You don't have to scream it. You don't have to push it. You don't have to be aggressive about it. A very confident, very self-assured no can actually draw an impeccable line between you and another person. It can help protect you as well. When you say no, I will not allow these things to happen. No, I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. No, I will not let you influence me in this way. You are showing deep inner strength, whether mental, emotional, or physical. And it's quite a very life-affirming thing to actually say no, especially if you're a woman. We are naturally kind of groomed into saying very many times yes and I'm sorry, and to try to people please a lot of people. And then we end up having our trust, our kindness, and our loving natures abused. So you have to be very mindful of when to exercise this compassion in life and when to draw a boundary by firmly saying, no, I cannot do that. No, I cannot use my time and energy when I need it for myself. Yeah, so saying no and setting boundaries is part of the practice of being self-loving. Now, there can be an exaggerated form when we say no. We tend to overuse it and we create walls where there were a lot of energetic leeways around us. So you can overuse your capacity to say no. And you can actually see little children around the ages of 3 and 4. They develop this very strong ego capacity of saying no, and they sometimes play with it and they overuse it. They start saying no to everything, even to things that they know they should be doing. And children are actually great studies because or study subjects, actually, not objects. They're not objects, of course, guys, I know that. It's just kind of weird to label children scientifically, although people do that, especially in child psychology. So yeah, they're great study subjects because they can show us how we begin to form this capacity to draw boundaries and how we playfully can exercise it as well. So I have here 4 options for you today. You can choose either by the object that I placed in front of you or by the tarot decks that pulls you in the most. I have here for group 1 a white jade elephant or the Starspinner Tarot. For group 2, I have here the Opal Pendulum or the Flight Fantasy deck. I have here for group 3 Cupid, blowing you a kiss, or the Chinese Tarot. And for group 4, I have here Yin Yang Panthers, or the Broken Isn't Bad Tarot. I also have pre-shuffled 2 cards from 2 different oracle decks. You can see them at the bottom of each tarot deck so that I can just jump into your reading after I live shuffle the tarot. You know the drill on my channel. I pre-shuffle the oracle cards and I live shuffle the tarot cards. Okay guys, so without further ado, I'm really excited to divinate for you at your chosen pile. If you want to get in touch with me for free readings, I am open during this period and my schedule is really loose, so feel free to have a look at the first link in the description box. I also published 2 2 articles on my website in which I write a lot about astrology, divination, tarot, being a witch, occult personality types. These 2 new articles are about significant conjunctions in your birth chart, and also an article on telepathic communication, which was requested by a lot of you crew members. Thank you so much for connecting with me on Instagram at ms_bontemps, also detailed down below in the description box. And thank you as well for being just such wonderful people and just raising the vibration of the whole collective through our interactions here on my channel. I'm sending you so many kisses and I can't wait to see you at your pile. Bye bye. Hey Group 1, I'm so happy that you joined us today. Welcome to your Pick a Card reading on the theme of setting boundaries. This is for those of you that were drawn to the white jade elephant or to this gorgeous Starspinner Tarot. Let's find out, what do you need to do in your life to set boundaries? And potentially also, which is the area that you need to set boundaries? Is it work? Is it love? Is it with your relatives? Oh, with a mother. I know this is not the moon card, but you see the moon is in the center here. And I also see a mother and her 2 children behind a set of swords. So this is the 6 of Swords, walking away from a painful communication with your mother. So right off the bat, guys, this is for those of you that are experiencing some maternal discord. You could be struggling with a narcissistic mother. You could have a mother that is addicted to something. She could be addicted to online shopping. She could be addicted to gossip. She could be addicted to alcohol or prescription medication, or just addicted to nagging you. You know how some mothers are like that? They are just relentless and will not give up on making your life difficult, no matter how you want to interact with them in more peaceful situations. So this speaks to me about you needing to mother yourself, to pull your energy back and draw a boundary verbally. You need to tell her no. You need to stop communicating with her for a while. I know it might be difficult because society usually pressures us all into having very strong connections with our mothers and fathers, but with the mothers especially. But there comes a time in your life when protecting yourself and protecting your mental health becomes more important than keeping in touch with your mother. And also, you shouldn't be afraid of cutting contact, like written or verbal communication with your mother. Because when we separate ourselves from this person that is kind of sending us negative energy, we are changing and shifting the energy. So during separations, the energy is changing. This is always the case. So when you will return and try to establish contact with her at a later point in time, you will see that this will happen from a different place. Because in the meantime, you will have changed and grown, and hopefully she might have changed and grown. And if this is not the case, if your parent is reluctant to change, then you at least changed and you're able to perceive the situation in a completely different light, which will give you a new set of insights. Yeah. If this is not a mother, if you are here and you don't have a biological mother, this speaks about a maternal-like figure, somebody that is deeply nurturing in your life, somebody that is kind of taking care of you in some way, or has taken care of you in the past, but now the situation has become untenable and you need to draw a very clear verbal boundary. So you need to speak up and say to this person, I am not going to contact you anymore until you treat me with respect. And you need to say it and you need to stick to it. The strength of a boundary happens only when we draw it and we stick to it. We do not bend, we do not go over it, because that will show the other person that we have, first of all, that we don't respect ourselves enough to hold true to what we say we are doing, but also that we are generally quite weak, so they can intrude again upon our energy, insult our identity, affect our actions, and influence our moods. So do not allow this mother or maternal-like figure to keep taking your energy away from you. Draw a clear verbal boundary between you and her to protect yourself 444 when I said that. This is your first significant synchronicity. And then we also have here, yeah, 9 of Wands. You've been bruised and battered. You've been taking so many low blows from this person. Enough is enough. I feel that your sacral chakra might be hurting. Your belly, you've been trying to process feelings potentially through food. Or a lack of food. Usually when we have maternal discord in our family, women especially express this through refusing to eat or overeating. So our capacity to eat and the signals that our gut is telling us, our gut is completely out of balance due to the sheer amount of negativity it has to process. So we tend to either stuff it down to calm it, or we tend to keep it clean and loose and not feed it anything because it might get us to regurgitate, it might get us to throw up. So usually the root cause of feeding problems lies in an overbearing, over-controlling mother, or a mother that is withholding affection while being high on criticism. Low on warmth, high on criticism. This is how attachment studies might describe her, for example. So I mean, I do strongly suggest working with a counselor and a therapist and getting some professional help as well. But I do see here that you had to put on such a strong fight for such a long time. And look, the court jester, the one that is supposed to bring happiness to the king's court, is now just a mere ghost-like image. It's just a figure of what it used to be, because your optimism, your health, your vitality might have been completely blocked by this maternal figure. So again, I don't want to tell you to give up the fight, but you do need to rest. Let's see the next card next to it. The Page of Swords. You have to work at seeing yourself in a completely different light, and you have to detach yourself from your mother's opinion of you. This means that you're going to need solitude, you're going to need stillness, you're going to need a lot of rest. You need to sleep, because during sleep our brains are healing, our brains are processing the events of the day, but they're also processing past patterns, things that happened to you in the past, the deep past and the closest past, whatever we hold in our long-term memory, and thereby affecting our short-term memory. Our capacity to remember things on the daily is affected by our capacity of what we remember from years ago. So especially if you spend a lot of time with this person, and if she's been your mother, your caretaker, of course, you spend a lifetime with her, it's really important during this period to claim your mental independence. Do not allow your mother to live in your head rent-free. It might sound weird, it might sound capitalistic, but you have to impose a charge, a toll, a fee. You cannot just let her criticize you, interfere with your mind, and manipulate you. Some of you might have been gaslighted by your own mother, which is a terrible thing to happen to you, and I'm really sorry if this is the case. But you can escape. You can find friendships with other women in your life. You can seek out help. There are ways to go around it. The situation is not desperate. It is not the end of the world. And even though you might feel a lot of pain, and maternal discord is the one that ends up hurting us so much, to the point where some people develop mental health issues, it's really important to keep in mind that as an adult, you have a lot of power. You have a lot of decision-making abilities. You can take care of yourself. You can mother yourself if need be. And it is naturally a process where we gradually need to let go of the strong attachment to our mothers as we grow older, because in the natural flow of life, at some point we lose our parents due to the fact that they are simply older than us, or we lose them from other life circumstances much earlier on. So there is the natural flow of needing to let go of this strong attachment to the parent as you become a parent yourself, either metaphorically speaking or symbolically to yourself and to your co-workers and to your other people that you work with, your clients, your students, so on and so forth, or you actually become a real parent and then you embody the role that created you. So whichever the case be, you need to focus on that. If you're a mother yourself, or a father, a parent, then please focus on that role and let go of the tie to your own maternal figure. And if you are not a physical, biological parent, then focus on the people that you work with, mother them, and then come back as well to you, to numero uno, and mother yourself. Give yourself your favorite foods. Tell yourself the list of tasks that you need to accomplish. Encourage yourself. Tell yourself you can do it, Buttercup. I'm by your side. I'm your best friend. I'm holding your hand. We are walking through the light. We are achieving our goals. And when you're having a tough day, that's okay. You tried. You did your best. Tomorrow is a new day. We can always start again. Whatever didn't work today, it was a learning opportunity. Now we know what to improve and correct the next day. Be your own best friend. Be your own mother. This is what I see reflected in these cards. Wow, this feels like a deep therapy session. I am going to move now to read your oracle cards because I do not want to make this reading too long. So let's see. The Judge. Oh my God, this is your archetype card. No wonder that there is such a strong... Ooh, yeah, I can feel it in the heart chakra. Your heart chakra has been blocked. Some of you could be even crouching like this because it's kind of like energetically your parent, this maternal figure, has been drilling so much negativity into you potentially from an early age that it's like you naturally grew into this crouching position to defend your heart. So you need to unlearn that behavior and open your chest up and stand strong, because you deserve to experience the natural gorgeous flow of your heart chakra energy, no matter how difficult your parent was. Okay, and I'm coming at you with a bit of sass because I want you to embody this sass. I want you to stop thinking that you're a victim, to stop internalizing the crap that your maternal figure has been sending your way, and to stand up for yourself. Become an authority in your own right. If your mother did not do right by you, you do right by your own children. If your mother did not give you those words of encouragement that you so crave to hear, you give yourself those words of encouragement. Make post-its and put them around your bathroom mirror or the mirror in which you see yourself every day when you get ready to go out or to work. And tell yourself gorgeous things and believe them, have fun with them, play around. It might feel weird to tell yourself things like I'm amazing, I'm awesome. It might feel weird to believe them, but the daily practice of repeating them will slowly change the unconscious negative patterns in your brain. The Judge. Some of you could have a mother with a lot of Libra energy in her chart, but it is a low vibing Libra. Somebody that is caught up in vanity, in being right or righteous all the time, without generally working on herself, being a little bit passive and lazy. You need to embody the high vibrational characteristics of Libra to heal this connection. Libra is about beauty, it's about justice, it's about impartiality, balancing both negativity and positivity and coming up with the middle ground. You could be working in a profession where you need to be a negotiator between two conflicting sides. You could be a judge, lawyer, prosecutor, or interested in legal work. You could have like some among your favorite shows. You might not be working in these professions, but among your favorite shows could be Law and Order or all sorts of circumstances where you see judges in courtrooms. These have always excited you somehow, because what is a courtroom but a public space where people stand up for themselves in front of a person with authority? And this is the psychological imprint that you have had drilled in your mind ever since you were little, and it fascinates you. The power pulls you in, the power dynamics that take place in the courtroom. So work with that Libra energy, heal that Venusian sense of fairness by being detached, by focusing on beautifying yourself. If your mother was highly critical and always commented on the fact that you don't look perfect, detach from her understanding. Understand that it comes from a place of wounding, of self-hatred and self-loathing. But her self-loathing and her self-hatred does not have to be your own. We can work against inherited patterns by truly saying no. I will be different. And that's how you set the boundary. And that's how you change and you heal your bloodline. Heal. Sorry, I got slightly emotional for a moment. And when I get emotional, I tend to mispronounce the words. Mercury and Pisces here. So, final card I have for you, water. Talk about water energy. Some of you might have been incredibly sensitive ever since you were little. You could be a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, and you grew up with an air parent, a Gemini, Aquarius, or a Libra, and they did not comprehend your sensitivity. They could have mocked it. They might have forced you to put your feelings into words while you wanted to communicate in completely different ways. They might have made fun of you wanting to take good care of yourself and not ingest bad foods or have a specific schedule that they did not respect. All of those things that were not respected in your energy when you were little, now as an adult, you can give those things back to yourself, and you can get some sort of energetic kind of payback for your parent by living a good life, not by harming her, not by harming your parent, your maternal figure, but simply by living a really good life that is, traditionally known to be the best kind of revenge. So I would strongly advise you to say no to your parent, to stop talking to them for a while you focus on yourself and you tune into your emotions. A lot of you have been suppressing your feelings, but just keep in mind that you don't have to do it as an adult. You might have also attracted a lot of people that resembled your parents due to the fact that you grew up with your repressed feelings and a lot about focusing on the brain, especially if your parent was incredibly brainy or an air sign, and they might have pushed you into thinking too much with your mind and too little with your heart. Now as an adult, you can work at opening your heart more and letting go of all that logic, because I feel that a lot of you feel more comfortable overthinking things, and by being too much in your mind, you can also stand a chance of pushing love away from you. You stand a good chance of doing or developing negative coping behaviors that show that you do not like to be yourself, like smoking too much, which harms your lungs, or drinking too much, which harms your kidneys. And this kind of shows that you don't love yourself, you don't accept yourself, because your parent didn't accept you for who you were. But you don't have to do this for yourself. As long as you don't live in the same space with them, or as long as you stopped communicating with them, that energy doesn't have to funnel into your energy. So draw an appropriate boundary some comic relief, guys, in what seems to be quite a heavy reading, right? Draw an appropriate boundary by first saying to this parent, I will not put up with this anymore. I'm going to cut off communication for a while, and I'll give you some space to think about your actions and your words while I focus on myself. It doesn't have to be this strong. It can just be like cutting contact and allowing time to heal both you and your parent. You know what they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder, so who knows, maybe there might be the chance of a very beautiful forgiveness moment and reconciliation further along the line. So that's the reading that I had for you, Group 1. Wow, this was really powerful. I really hope that resonated. I really hope that I've given you some clarity and some practical tips that you can use to set appropriate boundaries. Let me know how you get on, and hope to see you in my next one. Bye. Hey Group 2, hey my loves, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome to a PickACard reading on the theme of setting boundaries. Let's find out, for those of you that were drawn to the Opal Pendulum or to the Flight and Fantasy Tarot, how do you need to set appropriate boundaries in your life, and with whom and in which area of your life you might need to do so. Okay guys, I got very warm from doing Group 1's reading. It was really powerful, so let's see. I'm really curious to see what pops up for you guys. Okay. One more, please, for Group 2. One more, and just the whole deck fell on the table. So let's see. Unbelievable. So we have here the Six of Swords, which is exactly the first card that fell out for Group 1. But this is different than Group 1. This is you battling your own feelings. Yes, we also have here the Page of Pentacles. You need to settle appropriate boundaries for yourself. Self-discipline is required in your life. I have a feeling that those of you that chose this group are emotional consumers. And what I mean by this is that You see how I'm detaching, how I'm actually going a little bit further away. Sorry, air was expelled. It's because you guys, you tend to be quite intense. You tend to focus on things too much, to the point where some of you could suffer from compulsions and obsessions. I feel that for a lot of you, shopping could be a problem. Online shopping, store shopping, shopping for goods that make you look good, shopping to uphold a sense of superficial vanity, maybe indulging in too much makeup. I'm really sorry, I don't mean to offend you in any way, but it could be that you're slightly overdoing it with purchasing too many clothes, purchasing too many objects that make you look good or help you keep up with the trends. And this in turn can be leading you into debt. It can be leading you into blocking your money for other things that you can experience in life, such as traveling to expand your mind, or paying your way through study, or by paying a student loan, paying back a student loan, or potentially even purchasing your first home. By indulging too much in these superficial aspects of what makes you look beautiful, you're also setting yourself up for some financial failure that you're gonna have to work a lot of years to actually reestablish. So be very mindful of how you spend your money, how you take care of them. I see very clearly here that you are naturally beautiful, that you don't need to enhance yourself in any specific ways. I feel that some of you that chose this group are quite Venusian, so Taurian, Libran. Some of you are very, very elegant and feminine. You exude a sense of ease and sexuality and romance, but something within you is not helping you see yourself in this way. And this is why I think you tend to what is the word? It's not over perfect, but it's kind of like you want to look picture perfect most of the time, because I think some of you believe that looking picture perfect is what attracts money and people and offers towards you. But this is just one side of the value economy at the moment. It's indeed, that's true for some people, but actual value and actual wealth and growth comes from respecting yourself. And it was 2222, from doing what you love and feeling happy while doing it. If you have a look around at all the famous YouTubers, these are people that became famous and became so likable because they're authentic and because they love what they do. They do it with style, they do it with gusto, they do it because they can't help themselves, you know? So keep that in mind. There is something within, something emotional, something authentic within you that is wanting to break out, but you are completely working too much on the mask. That's what I wanted to say with the vanity aspect. So it was in no way meant to disrespect you, my love. It was just, you're working on polishing your mask. You're working on the decorum, on the role that you think you need to be, instead of just being yourself. And I think that is because some of you potentially grew up, or you have a group of friends at the moment. It doesn't have to be related to your parents. Your parents might have done a great job, but some of us are strongly influenced by our peer group. So our co-workers, or our group of friends, they tend to influence us more towards more negative aspects than our parents. Sometimes our parents are just doing the best job that they can, you know. We don't always have to blame them for everything that goes wrong in our life, right, guys? So I feel that you need to draw some appropriate boundaries in your group of friends, and especially with your female friends. And those of you who have female friends who mostly interact with you based on telling you that you look good if you bought a new dress, or messaging you all the time as to what fresh makeup have you been wearing, or can we lend this bag, or can we. So it's kind of like a focus on material aspects, a focus on looks, on maintaining a certain facade. I feel that has been too much. This has been happening too much. And you're here for this reading for a specific moment, to find the strength to draw a boundary between yourself and your group of friends, yourself and your desire to invest in vanity projects, when you could save up that money, look into the mirror and understand, hey, you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous as God made you. You're gorgeous naturally. Obviously, you can enhance certain aspects. You can wear a little bit of mascara here. You can wear a bright red lipstick. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm just here to let you know that you've been overdoing it. Yeah, so I'm talking here about an excess, not about you doing something and just having fun with it. I'm not at all shaming people who dress nicely or who indulge makeup. Hey, look at me. I mean, come on, right? So no, I do it too, but this talks about overindulging in things due to an inner fear, a fear of feeling not good enough. And that is the problem. And that's why you're here. And that's why I'm giving you this advice, okay? Overdoing it because you're afraid. You're afraid that you're growing older. You're afraid that your body is changing. You're afraid that nobody will love you if you don't look perfect, or people will criticize you, or you won't get the job or the boyfriend or the husband, or you won't get access to a group of friends if your hair is out of place and you're not wearing the latest Gucci bag. God forbid that would happen, right? But that is an illusion. That is a materialistic illusion. You need to see past it, because you're already very beautiful, you're already very natural, but you need to draw some healthy boundaries with your group of female friends, or the friends that inspire you to spend your money on material goods, when I feel that you would do better to just plunge into your emotions and go to the root of why you feel so anxious about your exterior. Why do you feel the need to perfect something that is already perfect? So let's see the other cards that I have here. Nine of Cups. Oh, so you see how gorgeous this card is. Thank you, Beanish, for this amazing artwork. Beanish Khan is, by the way, one of my subscribers and the creator of the Flights of Fantasy deck. And I just love this card because look at this. It shows this abundance. It shows how romantic you are, how emotional, how sexual you are. Hair represents sexuality and power. And look at all these flowers brightly bloomed. And it's not only flowers, they're orchids. And orchids are highly sexualized flowers. If you know, guys, orcus, the Latin or I think Greek word, I might be mistaken, but the ancient word that gave orchids their name comes from a representation of testicles. Okay, so they are incredibly sexual flowers, and they are in her hair. And as you guys know from the Samson and Delilah legend, hair represents power. So sexual power, I think that you like to indulge in these superficial aspects because you feel that your sexual power lies in how well you look. But actually, your sexual power lies in what you're thinking, in the inner well of riches and fantasies and desires within yourself. I can tell you guys, like, if you are a sexually minded person, you really don't need lipstick or makeup. You emanate it through how you walk around. I actually suffered from this when I was little because I was a highly creative, highly driven teenager, and I could be wearing a sack of potatoes and I was drawing wanted and unwanted sexual attention from people. It was a lot about the energy I was vibrating and I was emanating with a very powerful Pluto and Scorpio in the first house. So you could be doing the same. You already have this naturally within yourself, but it's kind of like you're working to perfect the mask, and all you need to do is literally, as you see in this card, let your hair down, right? So that expression basically means relax into your beauty, relax into your sexuality. When we are relaxed, actually, that's when we are most creative and most sexual. That's why people and couples in general tend to have more sex during their holidays than when they are living together in the space and city in which they have to work and take care of their children. Yeah, so you need to relax. You need to tune into a multifaceted perspective of your beauty. You need to do less and understand that less is more, that you don't have to purchase that many concealers or, you know, all those designer bags in order to be accepted by society and to be seen in a positive light. And if you are amongst groups of people that are actually thinking in this way, then you might need to reconsider changing the group of friends or the group of people that you have around yourself. And I feel that you've been feeling this. I'm just confirming some of the things you've already been feeling, a sense of almost as if your soul is looking for something deeper and more meaningful. Let's see your oracle cards now. The shadow. Some of you, you're not aware of this. Some of you are not aware of this. You could have already clicked away from this reading because it pissed you off. And if something pisses you off, that's a very clear indication that it triggered your shadow self. It triggered an unconscious aspect of yourself, something you were doing, but you're not aware that you're doing. And when it becomes apparent to you, your conscious self is like, I hate people like that. I'm never like that. Oh my God. And then some time passes and you start to pay attention to the things in your life and you realize, oh my God, I just spent $1,000 on that designer pair of shoes when I actually don't have money to pay my rent. There you go. That is just one example of how this energy can play up. The shadow aspect is a lot about pleasing other people rather than focusing on ourselves. It is represented in astrology by the 7th house, the descendant, and the ascendant or the rising sun. That's where the 1st house begins. So it's you, the self, the consciousness, the solar understanding of who we are, our clear identity that is apparent to us, opposing what we don't like about ourselves, what we don't know about ourselves, what other people are able to see much more clearly than we are able to understand. And when they make comments regarding how we behave, we might not always hear what we like, but if we think about it with a very discerning mind, we might find some nuggets of wisdom in the comments of other people. Not the rude comments of strangers, but it could be just the well-intentioned comments, constructive criticism of the people in our lives. So you need to do some explorations of your shadow self as you are drawing these boundaries with the friends in your life, and also as you're disciplining yourself to spend less and focus more on your inner worth, your inner emotional well of creativity, sexuality, inspiration, you'll find that you can actually produce more, earn more, and thereby balance things out. Because I feel that you've been overspending due to not being able to channel your creativity into something productive. And as soon as you channel your creativity into something productive, and see, I'm shifting in my chair because I'm shifting the energy around. As soon as you do so, you will actually attract a lot of wealth towards you, and you'll be able to spend more if you're more wealthy. So things are going to balance out. But at the moment you're here, you need to bring it over here, and then it can go up. Does that make sense? Let's see the final card that I have for you. Magic, alchemy. You need to understand how the law of abundance works. That in order for you to receive more, you have to do more as well. You need to inspire other people. You need to do something creative. You might need to put more work in the service of others. You might need to take in more hours at work. You might need to give gifts to people in your surrounding. Not keep it all and hoard it for yourself, but give gifts to other people. It doesn't have to be an expensive gift. It can be a flower. It can be a kiss on the cheek. It can be a hug. It can be a cup of coffee. It can be just a phone call, checking up if they're okay, just a DM in which you tell somebody, hey, have a really beautiful day, I was thinking about you, you're an amazing person. You have to pour your time, energy, affection into another person's cup in order for the universe to bring it back to you. 3333 when I looked at the recording time. That is your significant synchronicity. So the ways in which you communicate need to be changed. The ways in which you talk to yourself, which need to be a little bit more strict. So different to group 1, you actually need to tell yourself, nah, I can't afford that right now. I'm saving money for that car. Nah, I'm not going to spend money on that ridiculous Gucci bag. I'm going to find a thrift store knockoff that is actually much nicer. I'm doing better for the planet because I'm recycling, and I'll decorate it however I want. Maybe I can change the color. Maybe I can add some cool badges to it. Maybe I can paint it, or maybe I can sew some things into it. Express yourself, be original, do something creative, give of your energy to other people, and you will feel less anxious. I promise you, this is the path forward. But going forward into this behavior, this mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, is only going to lead you down a road of financial debt, lack of self-worth, and a group of friends that if you're not emotionally connected to them, it's only materially minded. You will see that as soon as Saturn hits a significant placement in your chart, those friends are going to go away. Saturn conjunct Venus, Saturn on your moon, Saturn in the 7th house. It completely changes your relationships to people and to women and to beauty. Keep in mind you're an alchemist. My love, you can manifest whatever it is that you want. I'm speaking to you, Pluto and Sagittarians, okay? You guys, you're the oracles. You're my lovely oracles. You easily manifest whatever it is you want. Don't fall for the trappings of the attention value economy. You will not be a person that is incredibly spiritually wealthy only by having a phenomenal number of followers on Instagram. You're not going to take that bit of information with you to the grave. Although who knows, maybe in the future I might create some graves with information bits attached to them. That could be possible. But what I'm talking here is on a soulful level. You need to spend more on experiences and less on objects. You need to be self-disciplined enough to genuinely bring some really massive dreams into being, like becoming a homeowner or starting your own business and producing more and helping people more, rather than feeding the mask that you somehow thought or were brought into thinking that you need to have in this lifetime in order to be successful and to be loved. Newsflash, you don't. You're lovely just as you are. Draw a boundary. Set appropriate measures in place to help you become financially wealthy, and say no to those friends that are only meant to push you into spending your energy on vanity projects. Replace vanity projects with creative projects and feel how your anxiety is diminishing. Okay. That's what I had for you, group 2. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry if it was a little bit tough lovish. I hope you stayed and listened until the end. I'm sending you massive amounts of light, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye. Hey group 3, hey my loves, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome to your reading on the topic of setting boundaries. Let's find out today, for those of you that were drawn to the Cupid and to the Chinese tarot, what is in store for you? Who do you need to set boundaries with, and in what area of life? I got so hot from doing the 2 previous readings that I had to turn on the AC, so I'm really sorry guys. I hope that you are able to hear me clearly. It is relatively silent. So let's find out. Okay, wow. Oh, no wonder you chose the Cupid, right? So Cupid speaks about romantic and erotic entanglements. And the first card that I have for you is the 3 of Swords. You were part of a 3-party situation, or I feel that this is for those of you that are drawn to people that are somehow unavailable to them fully. There is either a connection with a person that is not emotionally available, so they might be loving someone else but wanting to have sex with you. Or it could be that this is a work crush. You're working with a person that is already married or in a connection, and you want them, but they might not be aware of you, or they might not want you necessarily, or giving you ambiguous kind of mixed signals. This could also be that you full-blown started a relationship with somebody that is already married or engaged or in a long-term commitment, long-distance relationship potentially with someone else, and you expected that person to change or to drop that other partner to be with you. And as you guys know, that never happens, or if it seldomly happens, then that person that has left another person to be with you will repeat that pattern with someone else. Harsh truth, but from my experience and from the people that came to talk to me about these issues, most of the time I see this pattern repeating itself. It's all up to the other person to figure out why they can't give themselves fully to someone else, to work through that issue. And from your own point of view, you need to try to understand, why are you being drawn to these kind of unavailable people? It's almost like there is a point in yourself, in your own energy, where you're not able to fully give yourself to someone else, and thereby you are only attracted to people that can also only partially give themselves to you, because there is a fear there related to either engaging with someone sexually or engaging with someone emotionally or genuinely engaging with someone on a material day-to-day everyday routine level. So one of those levels is blocked. It could also be that communication issues or trust issues might be impeding your capacity to be in a full-blown committed situation with somebody that is truly open on all levels towards you. And thereby you tend to fall into patterns where you talk to somebody, you have the sexual commitment, 4444, when I looked at the recording time, that's your significant synchronicity. You fall into patterns with them, but they don't give you the time or the affection, or there is something that is pulling that person back to their old ex, or to it makes that person prioritize their other family or their work above you, or they just cannot see your worth, because usually you're struggling to see these things for yourself. You're struggling to be a priority in your life. You're struggling to see your own worth. You're struggling to respect yourself. It's really important to understand that when you choose to be or to entertain a connection with somebody that is already taken, you're basically saying, that's okay, I don't really matter that much. And that might be a really tough blow to hear. I could feel that a lot of you maybe had your stomach clench a little bit. But I can tell you from my personal experience that choosing to entertain a connection with somebody that is not available to you is showing you a limit, so that you see what the pattern is, so that you become aware of the lack within yourself. When you say, I want to have that person, why can I not have that person? Why doesn't that person want me? You're basically saying, why am I not opening up my heart? Why am I not respecting myself? Why am I giving my energy to somebody that just takes and takes, and I just give and give? Why not stop? Why not pull back? Why not pull away? There are people in this world that love and receive love without blockages. You can be one of them too. You don't have to entertain this pessimistic pattern in love. You don't have to think that love is a sword game where people stab each other in the back all the time. There could be an underlying negative or pessimistic thinking pattern that you adopted from your parents. You might have grown up in a family where the mother and the father were constantly arguing, and it was traumatizing. And your mother, your father could have said that they hated one another, that they didn't want to be together. So you grew up with a feeling, wah, wah, wah. Some comic relief, guys. You might have grown up with a feeling where you were thinking that love is painful. I don't want to do that. I don't want to transmit my traumas to my children or to my lover. So a part of yourself locked down, and you're keeping it locked down. And this is why, because you're not able to give yourself fully to other people, you're attracting bits and parts of other people. A sexual attraction here, a coworker interaction that could turn romantic, but it doesn't feel sexual there. A flirtation with a bus driver there, crushing on your best friend's friend, crushing on the husband of a friend or the wife of a friend. These are all bits and pieces that show you how bits and pieces you think of your own self, and you might not be aware of it. And this is why these bits and pieces appear, so that you become aware and that you take a stand and you say with pride, I'm gonna love myself. I'm gonna stand up for myself. No, it is not okay for you, the other person, to share me with someone else. It is not okay for you to be emotionally unavailable. It is not okay for you just to come and make love to me and trick me into thinking that you love me, and then to run away and then come back again with the expectation that I will be open and available to you. No. Setting that boundary. You need to set appropriate boundaries in love. You've been too free with your affection to the detriment of wasting your own energy. You need to set appropriate boundaries in entering connections with people that are already committed. I know that in the tarot and oracle community, we tend to be very open-minded, and that's wonderful to be open-minded about the variety of connections that people can establish. But on a self-worth level, it is not okay for you to be part of a connection where another person is involved. And you need to think of the person that is at the center of this connection, the one that is entertaining the two connections, how selfish they are to do that, how selfish they are to trick two individuals, even though you might be aware of the other connection. But think about it. To trick two individuals into giving he or she a lot of affection and love, but they're not able to give all of that back to both of them. Because as human beings, we have finite reserves of love, of physical prowess, of attention, especially nowadays with social media, our attention spans are like this, So how can you expect to pour all that love, energy, time, effort, trust, and communication if you're split into two different directions? And you cannot spend your lifetime waiting around on a person that is in another connection to come back to you. This might come as a cold shower for those of you that were hoping for more. But think about the fact that, as I said before, a person that leaves you for someone else will never guarantee that they will not do the same to you. And do you really want to be in that position? It might be another cycle of pain that will repeat itself. Draw appropriate boundaries around your heart. Say no. Stand in your self-respect. A lot of you that chose this group need to understand that you don't need to chase love. You just attract it by being happy, by feeling at peace, by doing what you love in your work, by living in an environment that makes you feel good. So maybe some of you could be distracting yourselves from those other important things, finding something you love, working in a better place, or earning more money, or switching up the environment in which you live. You're distracting yourself from dealing with those issues by engaging into romantic connections that create a lot of drama. And they're not feeding your soul, and they're taking you away from self-love. So I see here with the Page of Cups, you need to think of yourself and of your emotions and of love in a completely different way than you've been doing in the past. Draw necessary and appropriate boundaries in your personal connections. If people have been taking too much from you, you need to say, I'm sorry, but I need to receive something back from you. I cannot just give you my body. I cannot just shower you in affection when you can't even answer my text messages. When you ghost me, when you harm me with your lack of affection, when you close the phone on me, when you're not there when I need you, when I make love to you, but I can't feel that you can look me in the eyes because you don't trust me or I don't trust you, because I know you're hiding something from me. No. Just say no to those connections. Just walk away. There are so many people in this world and you deserve better. Yeah? Walk away. And if you feel that this pattern is repeating, then spend some time by yourself, focusing on this pattern, figuring out ways in which you can break it. We can break patterns. And if you're struggling to understand how you can break a constantly repeating romantic pattern that is creating a lot of drama in your life, then you might need to work with a counselor, a person that through the talking cure is able to mirror back to you certain unconscious aspects, and thereby it liberates you. It helps you see yourself in a new life and light, Freudian lisp. So it can actually help you become more aware of the changes you need to make in your life and be more confident in your decision making, It's important that once you set a boundary with a lover, you stick to it. You don't go back to it. Mercury retrogrades are especially painful moments when we tend to cross over our boundaries. So you might say no to a lover that is a player, and then a Mercury retrograde hits on your Venus or on your moon, and you might tend to fall into the pattern of, okay, why was I so strict? Let's just have this person again in my life because I need some sex. And then heartbreak happens again and you're right back to zero. So be very mindful of that. Respect yourself, respect your body, your heart, and your energy. It is actually much better to live on your own for a while and engage in some yummy solitude and inner work and focusing on other things that you need to grow in your life, rather than spend a lot of time crying, waiting on people, exhausting your energy, draining yourself, begging another person to see your worth. understand that seeing your worth and loving yourself is an inside job, but I think you guys know that. It's just you haven't been applying it. So now is the time. I'm here to let you know, I'm here to mother you into keeping in mind that now is the time to tune back into your feelings and to press the reset button in your love life. Love yourself, become your own best partner, and watch as your soulmate manifests. Don't chase love, allow it to come to you from the goodness of your heart. Be a good person to other people, do good unto others as much as you can. Then when you can't do any more good, rest and allow love to come to you. It might come later. Some of you who have Saturn conjunct your Venus, Venus in Capricorn, Saturn on the ascendant, Saturn in the 7th or 8th house, Saturn conjunct the moon, you will attract this partner usually after the age of 35. So you need to be more patient. You need to do a lot of work on other parts of your life before you meet your partner. But when you meet them, you will feel such a sense of relief. It will feel like everything fits, like the waiting has been worth it. So stand in your self-love, self-respect, and draw appropriate boundaries with the romantic and sexual connections you have been entertaining. If you're not getting the full person, don't engage. Don't settle for a cheap discount in love when you can actually have a full course meal at home. Yeah? The oracle cards that I have here for you are the Forest and Comfort, Hearth. I don't feel I need to spend a lot of time focusing on these cards because I think that this is the reward that is coming to you. As long as you stand in your self-worth and love yourself, as long as you draw these appropriate, necessary boundaries in love, and I know it might be painful, I know it might be boring to spend a lot of time thinking, when will it be my time to be in a loving connection, to have my own family, to be seen for my true worth. It is coming as long as you see yourself like this first. So the Forest talks about growth, stability, and a paternal attitude, and Hearth and Comfort speaks about all of these wonderful things that are coming to you, these rewards for all the hard work you've been doing to love yourself. So I feel like you're almost there. The majority of you are almost there with this manifestation of a true soulmate connection, somebody that loves you and respects you and is able to just be with you without conditions and without ultimatums and drama. For others of you, you've just started on this journey and you need to be very mindful and discerning in your loving connections. Yes, you might need to exercise more of a logical, strategic mindset when you approach love, and to be more patient and to go down the route where, okay, I might need to focus on other things in my life before I can actually settle down in a marriage and in a true partnership. But just keep in mind, this is not wasted time. This is time when you focus on yourself. And what is the most important thing in this life if not you? You are the leader of your life, or you should be at least. So come back to that place of self-confidence, of knowledge, of inner strength, and understand that loving yourself is the way forward in this connection. And if you feel that you're disrespected, if you feel that you are not loved and treasured, draw that appropriate boundary. I promise you, you will not feel like you're shortchanged if you draw an appropriate boundary and you protect your energy. On the contrary, you might actually find out that you're feeling more relaxed, more loving, and once the pain has subsided and you feel a bit more healed, you might feel even more inspired and creative. So that's the reading that I had for you. I mean, look, the Comfort, the Hearth one even has number 11. Yeah, this is your reward, okay? So that's the feeling reading that I had for you, group 3. I'm already making rhymes. I hope to see you in my next one. Thank you so much for listening. Bye, my loves. Mwah. Hey, group 4. Hey, my loves. I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome to your reading. This is a reading on the topic of setting boundaries. We're going to uncover whom do you need to set boundaries with and in which area of life. This is for those of you that were drawn to the yin-yang patterns. Patterns? Panthers. Wow. Or to the Broken Isn't Bad Tarot. There might be some unconscious patterns that I'm already picking up. Interesting. Okay, so let's find out what's going on. It's so strange because I just finished group 3's reading and I was so hot I had to put on the fan, and literally group 3 needed to cool off a little bit in love. That was the message regarding boundaries. Maybe you need to listen to that one too. Who knows? Ooh, wow. Okay, the first card that fell, Ace of Cups, a new emotional beginning. We also have here the Four of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. Yes, you need to listen to group 3 as well, or maybe some of you might need to listen to group 3 because the Page of Pentacles appeared there as well, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm not. I think it appeared there as well. You're a little bit of a hard energy to crack. Let's understand. Give me a second so I can understand. Let's understand. Okay, now I see. These are boundaries regarding your identity. A lot of you guys that chose this pile, you're struggling to understand where you end and another person begins. I feel some of you could suffer as well from intrusive thoughts and intrusive feelings. What I mean by that is when you start to think a certain train of thought and then you catch yourself and you realize, wait a minute, that's not me. Like, where is this coming from? Or you are feeling in a low, negative, pessimistic mood and you understand that at the beginning of the day, you were feeling really okay. That means you took on the energy of another person. And that could be because the boundaries of your identity, even your energetic, auric boundaries, are very low. They're very loose. And you need to do a lot of inner work to strengthen that. I feel that this is for those of you that have the moon in the first house, North Node in the first house, Capricorn ascendant, Saturn on the ascendant. This is really dragging your energy down and it's testing your capacity to be yourself, to have a clear, distinct identity, separate from that of your loved ones, of your family, of your culture, your clan, your race, racial or gendered background. Racial, I slurred there. There could be some racial issues at hand. You might have been the victim of racial discrimination. It might have traumatized you to the point where you could have taken on the mentality of the person that traumatized you. There's some deep power issues here at play. I feel for some of you, if you're not resonating with the racial aspect, this is a lot about the father figure that was either very dominant or you always argued with, and you really struggle to embody your own animus archetype, your own sense of the divine masculine. So you're struggling in life to make decisions and to be very bold and very determined, to take a chance, to go big or go home, to lead. Some of you really struggle with the idea of being a leader, even though you have natural inborn capacity to do so. Some of you could also be tied into very unhealthy family dynamics regarding money. So the way in which you draw these boundaries and you detach emotionally from the very strong identity of your own clan, of your own family, of your own upbringing. You could come from a family that has a really important name, or a parent in your family maybe invented something, or was a favorite, was the favorite of the crowd, was a famous sportsman, or maybe a really impressive person in your community. They don't have to be global or international. Maybe they were just known locally as, oh, you're the kid of that person, you know? Or other people constantly compare you to a sibling that is really acing everything in their life, and you're not. You're coming short. You're coming second best. You're always either, I feel the majority of you might identify with this. If you're the youngest in the family, maybe you have one or two more siblings, and you're always kind of compared to their achievements. Or if you're an only child, I feel like your parents always compare you to really important people in society, and they put so much pressure on you to live up to those expectations that you don't even know who you are because you're struggling so much to become somebody who others want you to be. So you're gonna have to do a lot of work on understanding, what is it that I'm feeling? What do I want to achieve and hold on to? Four of Pentacles, holding on to material things. You could have a lot of the clothes and money, could be hand-me-downs, could be inheritances. Everything might come with a condition. You know, this is yours as long as you take care of it, as long as you keep it in the family. This money is yours as long as the family can control you, as long as they can have access to you 24/7. So be very mindful of these arrangements. Analyze the financial arrangements in your environment and take your power back. You are meant to separate from toxic, potential even strong, hard aspects to your 8th house, family dynamics. Things that are kept secret, buried, mysterious, out of sight from the public. But inside the house, inside in the intimate zone, it's like a warfare, or it's like a mind control situation. I'm laughing. I know I shouldn't be laughing, but I'm trying to introduce some levity into what seems to be, again, another pretty tough reading. So for those of you that recognize themselves in this, there are indeed some really entangled family situations that you need to very sensitively work your way around and outside of, slowly, carefully, with patience and time, and maybe even by enlisting the help of a lawyer or a counselor. You could even need to work with an accountant or somebody else that can be on your side. And there are people that will provide good services to you, so don't back down. Others of you need to work with a therapist. There are some very strong family or sibling entanglements that are psychologically blocking you from seeing your emotions, from seeing your true worth, from sharing yourself with other people. The Ace of Cups is about sharing yourself, sharing your love, and it's almost like you're being blocked from sharing your love. You could have an overly controlling parent that wants you to just focus on them and not on your own self, on your own life, on your own loves. So this could be a parent that is interfering with your romantic connections just because they are jealous, but they're using that jealousy and they're trying to make it seem as if, no, I'm not jealous, I'm just looking out for you. You know how sometimes certain toxic parents tell you, no one is gonna love you like I love you, you know, and they treat you in a state of being a child even though you're 45 years old. That is not okay. That is not parental love. That is parental control. And you need to learn these distinctions, because I think you were spoon-fed a lot of stories about who you are and your past and your power, and you have a self-image created in the realm of that family life that is very different from who you really are. So you have to rise above the gaslighting, this intimate gaslighting, and understand that, hey, you cannot manipulate me like that. Page of Pentacles, standing up for yourself, confidently walking away from that family dynamic and understanding, hey, I can make my own money. Hey, I can improve my own skills. Hey, I can move into my own home. Yes, sure, I might not know exactly how to do it. Yeah, it could be strange. I heard a lot of negative things about the economy. I'm not sure I have any specific inborn talents. I don't know what to sell in the market economy, but I'm going to do it. I have the confidence, I have the resolution, and I'm just going to take the first step forward, and Spirit is going to show me the way. You need to have this faith, you need to have this trust, and you need to put yourself out there more, and to slowly and gradually, respectfully, compassionately, just tell the family members, tell the person that has this financial power over you that you're going your own way, you're going solo, you're striking out independently. Or in certain cases, you might need to keep this hidden from them until you gathered enough money, move out, and then face them with the fait accompli, right? As the French say. So face them with the reality of the act. You already made a decision, even though they might not agree or like it. It is done, and they have to deal with it. So let's see what the oracle cards are. I know, I can understand this is not an easy situation, especially if a parent is holding on some money that you've earned when you were maybe little, or some inheritance that it was due to you, maybe some property that they're keeping away. It's actually yours legally, but you somehow don't have the financial backing up or the strength to go against them because they have that power over you, and they can be quite threatening and manipulative. For some of you, it can be at a lighter level, so quite superficial. There might just be some arguments in the family regarding why are you so independent? You know, things like that. Parents that do not understand that you are supposed to stand on your own in this lifetime. You're supposed to build your own things, gather your own things, not to contribute to the family constantly until you don't end up being anyone and anything. So there could be that side for a thread of you that are listening to this. But let's see what the oracle cards have to say. Time, discipline. Saturn is messing with you. Saturn is getting you to explore a lot of karma in the connection with your parents primarily. So I see that these are boundaries that need to be established financially, and I see that this is primarily with siblings or parents. So you might want to listen to group 1. Group 1 had a really interesting one about parents, and group 3, it was more about romantic connections. But keep in mind that if you are controlled financially by your parents and you are somehow not aware of this pattern, then you might end up doing the same thing to your lover. You might end up controlling them with money, or telling them that, you know, they cannot leave you because you gathered all their funds, or you pulled all your funds and shared assets. And if this happens, you know, it's really painful both for the person, and it will eventually backfire on you. I'm not saying that you guys are doing it consciously, but you need to be very mindful that if you grew up in such dynamics, analyze your own life and make sure that you're not repeating the same patterns. We have here the desert. Yeah, so ultimately, these kind of controlling dynamics that you've experienced in your own family life or with your own siblings, which involved a lot of money and exchanging of goods and objects of value, holding on, being very possessive, very controlling, this, if it's not purged and acknowledged in time, it will lead you to being utterly alone and basically abandoned and dejected by everyone else that wants to help you and be your friend and love you in this life. So you have to loosen up a little bit. And if you cannot loosen up by being in contact with your original family or by living with them, then you have to take proactive, independent steps towards detaching yourself from them, making your own wealth and holding it on to that, making your own savings account through your work, through your hard work, through your skills, through building your ego through your work, helping other people, selling services, selling objects, crafting. So I strongly recommend you do so. And it might even be the case that you might need to do something creative and self-employed, because if you work for another corporation, you could run into the same kind of controlling dynamics with your boss, where your salary is used against you as a mean to control how you dress and where you go and what time you arrive and how long you have to work over hours. And in some cases, it could be that this might be an issue of self-worth, so you could be criticized regarding how you dress. You might be told to dress more sexily in ways in which are demeaning, okay? So be very mindful of that. This is a lot about building your self-worth through having confidence in your skills. So boundaries are necessary regarding shared finances and shared assets with other people. This could even be regarding a divorce settlement. So for some of you, I'm picking up right now, it's filtering through. This might be a divorce settlement. So be very mindful what you are asking from your ex-partner and what you're allowing them to take from that connection, or what you are receiving in return from that connection. There should be an equal exchange, yeah? Yeah, you haven't been standing in your power because I keep playing with my hair. So hair is sexuality, and I also feel like things have been quite dried up for you. See, emotionally, I feel like you haven't been nurtured. So you need to find a way to nurture yourself. And how do you do that? By letting go of the control of the boundaries around your heart. Better boundaries with shared assets and with your family members, some of whom are experiencing some deeply entangled identity crossing dynamics with your parents, but a loosening up in the area of resting, getting in touch with your emotions, having some alone time, exercising some self-discipline that will lead you towards that financial independent wealth that you need to create in this lifetime. Some of you that chose this group have a North Node in the second house and a south node in the 8th house, or you might have a north node in Taurus and a south node in Scorpio. You're deeply entangled into the family dynamics of your relatives, of the past, of people that you've known from the past, and you need to let go of that in order to move towards financial wealth, financial independence, confidence, slow and steady acquisition of your own assets, rather than sharing them and entangling them with power, control, and even sexual favors and things like that. So I see that this will happen slowly in time for you. You gradually become more and more aware of these power dynamics. And I feel that eventually you will be successful, because we have here the Ace of Cups, which talks about rejuvenation, being able to share yourself with other people if in the past you are not able to do so. So if you are settling for a divorce, and you're feeling a little bit down on your luck and on love, I feel that as long as you navigate the situation with a lot of self-respect, you will feel quite happy with the outcome, as happy as you can be with the outcome of a divorce settlement. And then you will feel as if you can actually tackle love again. Sometime might pass, but you will eventually reach this place where you can share your cup of love with other people. Oh, I really hope everything works out well for you, Group 4. It got me a little bit emotional. I hope you're able to disentangle yourself and see yourself for who you really are. So strong boundaries around protecting your identity and your energy. I'm sending you so much light. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in my next one.